The strains of fame took their toll. By the late 1950s, Johnny was grappling with substance abuse, fueled by amphetamines that kept him awake during grueling tours. Despite these struggles, he recorded enduring classics like Ring of Fire, co-written by June Carter, who became his artistic muse. In 1965, his reckless behavior culminated in a catastrophic forest fire during a camping trip, resulting in the destruction of hundreds of acres of California's Los Padres National Forest. When accused of endangering endangered condors, Cash retorted dismissively, "I don't care about your buzzards," cementing his reputation as a rebellious outlaw. Yet, redemption was never far from Cash's grasp. His live prison performances at Folsom and San Quentin captivated audiences, blending raw emotion with a deep connection to the struggles of the incarcerated. These concerts solidified his image as the Man in Black, a voice for the marginalized and downtrodden. But his personal demons persisted. After separating from Vivian in the late 1960s, Johnny finally pursued a relationship with June Carter. Refusing to marry him unless he overcame his addiction, June and her family staged a loving but firm intervention. Against all odds, Cash emerged sober, and in 1968, he proposed to June on stage in Ontario, Canada. Their marriage became a beacon of hope, built on shared love, music, and resilience. Despite relapses and health challenges, Johnny Cash's later years were marked by artistic triumphs. He hosted a groundbreaking variety show on ABC, showcasing his integrity by refusing to censor the word "stoned" in a Chris Christopherson song. His commitment to authenticity and creativity never wavered. Cash's career came full circle in the 1990s with his stark, haunting recordings with producer Rick Rubin. Stripped of pretense, these songs, like his unforgettable rendition of "Hurt," reflected a lifetime of struggle, redemption, and introspection. When Johnny Cash passed away on September 12, 2003, just 4 months after losing June, he left behind a legacy that transcends music. His daughter, Roseanne, later uncovered surprising truths about their ancestry on Finding Your Roots. While Johnny often claimed Cherokee heritage, DNA testing revealed African roots instead. This discovery added a new dimension to the story of a man who celebrated diversity and stood up for Native American rights. From the cotton fields of Arkansas to the heights of international stardom, Johnny Cash's journey was one of relentless resilience. He stumbled, fell, and rose again, his music a testament to the human spirit's capacity for redemption. Today, we remember Cash not just for his rebellious persona or his chart-topping hits, but for his ability to turn pain into poetry and inspire generations with his unyielding authenticity. Johnny Cash, born J.R. Cash on February 26, 1932, in Kingsland, Arkansas, was a man whose life mirrored the themes of his music: redemption, love, and the struggles of the human spirit. Growing up in the Great Depression, Cash was the middle child in a family of 7. His name was a compromise between his mother's wish to name him John and his father's wish for Ray. Poverty was a constant companion, but so was resilience. In 1935, the Cash family took up President Franklin D. Roosevelt's offer to relocate to Dyess, Arkansas, where they began farming. Life was harsh, and the family worked tirelessly in the cotton fields. Yet even amid hardship, music was their solace. Together, they sang gospel songs, filling the fields with harmony. This love for music stayed with Johnny, offering a glimmer of hope when tragedy struck. Johnny's older brother, Jack, was his closest companion. One fateful day, Jack suffered a devastating accident with a table saw and passed away a week later. Johnny was only 12, and the loss left an indelible mark on his heart. Seeking refuge, he turned to music. By his teenage years, Johnny had taught himself guitar and was already penning his own songs. In the 1950s, when the U.S. entered the Korean War, Cash enlisted in the Air Force and was stationed in West Germany. Before leaving, he met Vivian Liberto at a roller skating rink, a meeting that would shape his future. After his return, they married and moved to Memphis, Tennessee, where Cash worked as an appliance salesman. But his heart was elsewhere. He began performing with local musicians, eventually gathering the courage to audition for Sun Records. His first audition was filled with gospel songs, but Sun Records founder Sam Phillips famously told him to come back after you've sinned a little. Determined, Cash returned with a rockabilly style and was soon signed. By 1955, his songs, Hey Porter, and Cry, Cry, Cry were climbing the charts. His star was rising, but fame often comes at a cost. In 1956, Cash found himself in a Sun Records recording studio alongside Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Elvis Presley. This impromptu jam session became the legendary $1 Million Quartet. That same year, Cash wrote I Walk the Line, a pledge of loyalty to his wife Vivian. The song catapulted him to superstardom, but life on the road proved too tempting. He began an affair with singer June Carter, whom he had met backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. Their connection was undeniable, but it came at the expense of his marriage and his health. As his fame grew, so did his struggles. By the late 1950s, Cash had developed a dependency on amphetamines and alcohol, habits that fueled erratic behavior. In 1965, a camping trip with his nephew Damon went terribly wrong when a fire broke out, consuming hundreds of acres of California's Los Padres National Forest. Cash was fined heavily but seemed unfazed, infamously declaring, "I don't care about your buzzards," when told the fire had endangered condors. Despite his troubles, Cash's connection with his audience never waned. He embraced his man in black persona, often performing in prisons to give voice to the marginalized. Albums like At Folsom Prison and at San Quentin showcased his raw storytelling and deep empathy, solidifying his place in music history. But beneath the outlaw image was a man yearning for redemption. After years of battling addiction, it was June Carter who became his anchor. Refusing to tolerate his destructive habits, she and her family moved into his home to help him confront his demons. With their support, Cash emerged sober and proposed to June during a concert in Ontario. They married in 1968, a turning point in his life. Together, Johnny and June built a legacy of love and music. Songs like Ring of Fire, co-written by June, became synonymous with their partnership. Yet their journey was not without setbacks. Cash's struggles with addiction resurfaced in the 1970s, but he sought help, entering the Betty Ford Clinic and fighting to reclaim his life. In 1969, Cash became a household name with The Johnny Cash Show. Despite network pressures, he stood firm in his beliefs, famously refusing to censor Chris Christopherson's song Sunday Morning Coming Down. This unyielding authenticity endeared him to millions. In his later years, Cash's music took on a reflective tone, culminating in the hauntingly beautiful cover of Hurt, recorded shortly before his death. The song, paired with its poignant video, served as a testament to a life filled with struggles and triumphs. Johnny Cash passed away on September 12, 2003, just 4 months after losing June. Their love story, though complicated, remains one of music's most enduring legacies. Years after his death, another truth about Cash emerged. Long fascinated by his heritage, Johnny often claimed Cherokee ancestry. However, when his daughter Roseanne appeared on Finding Your Roots, DNA tests revealed no Native American markers. Instead, she discovered distant African ancestry. It was a surprising twist, but one that underscored Cash's complex identity and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Today, Johnny Cash is remembered not just as a music icon but as a symbol of resilience. From the cotton fields of Arkansas to the world's largest stages, his journey was one of pain and perseverance, proving that redemption is always possible. He sang not just of heartache, but of hope, and in doing so, he gave a voice to us all. Johnny Cash, a story of passion, pain, and redemption. Born J.R. Cash in Kingsland, Arkansas, in 1932, Johnny Cash was one of 7 siblings in a family that struggled to make ends meet. His name itself was a compromise between his mother's wish for John and his father's desire for Ray. Poverty shaped much of Johnny's childhood, especially after his family relocated in 1935 to Dyess, Arkansas, as part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal program. There, the entire family toiled in cotton fields, singing hymns to lighten the grueling workload. It was amidst this hardship that tragedy struck. Johnny's older brother, Jack, suffered a horrific accident with a table saw and succumbed to his injuries a week later. Jack had been Johnny's closest companion, and his death left a void that never fully healed. To cope, Johnny turned to music. With his mother's encouragement, he learned to play the guitar and began penning his first songs by age 12. The Korean War interrupted his musical dreams, and in the early 1950s, Cash enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, serving as a radio operator in West Germany. Before his departure, he met Vivian Liberto at a roller skating rink, and their long-distance romance blossomed through letters. Upon his return to the States, they married, but Cash's life remained directionless. Moving to Memphis, Tennessee, Johnny worked as an appliance salesman, scraping by while moonlighting with local musicians. When he nervously auditioned for Sun Records, founder Sam Phillips was unimpressed by his gospel tunes and famously quipped, "Come back when you've done some sinning." Taking the advice to heart, Johnny returned with raw, heartfelt songs that embodied the spirit of rockabilly and country. By 1955, he had his first hits, "Hey Porter," and "Cry, Cry, Cry." In 1956, Cash was in the studio with Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis when Elvis Presley joined them. Together, they formed the legendary $1 Million Quartet, a serendipitous moment that foretold their musical greatness. But while Johnny's career began to soar, his personal life was unraveling. The success of "I Walk the Line" catapulted him to fame, yet its promise of marital fidelity proved hollow. While on tour, Cash met June Carter, a vibrant performer from a famous country music family. Sparks flew, but with both tied to other spouses, they tried to suppress their feelings. Behind the scenes, Johnny's life became a whirlwind of affairs, addiction, and instability.